Welcome to this week's live stream. I am Dave, and in this week's live stream we're going to be looking at the best cameras for YouTube for you guys and for filmmakers, so do not go anywhere. Later on in the live stream I will be giving a little power tip of a camera I would still recommend as a starter camera, and all these cameras, a bar maybe one, will be way under £1,000 or dollars, so way within most of your budget. Do not go anywhere because we've got loads to get through.
You're going to get value from this video.
If this is your first time here, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for filmmakers and creators and all sorts of gear that you may want to think about when you're becoming a YouTuber. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now, like and share this with family and friends as we go to Cam 2. Do you like the light? My head's over here just because I just want to play with the angles and that sort of jazz. But anyway, let's crack on with so much more to say hello to. So, first off, we're going to look at, here on Cam 2, the best cameras for creators. I'm just going to make sure that I'm actually in shot for you guys. I'm just about. So the first camera I want to share with you guys, actually, let's go backwards just to sort of break the mold. So many of you may have heard of the Sony ZV-1. If you haven't, this is why it's an awesome camera. So let's have a look at it now. Dun, da, 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 da. Here we go. This is a great camera. So why is this a great camera? It's easy to use. It's easy to point and shoot. Here's a really nice internal microphone with this nice little cool windbreak sponge thing, which is really handy. It has a record button and also has a really cool feature. If you're someone that does project reviews and stuff like that, it has a mode that will focus on the item, which is really handy for someone that wants a camera like that. What's really cool, it's really light. It has a turn screen. You can connect it to a tripod. It has a little light and there's loads of cool features. Now, the only thing that's holding this back against, say, my favorite camera, which I will get to later, is the fact that you can't change the lenses. But if you're not bothered about that, I have actually been told by a few creators that this is an incredible camera. It's a camera that is definitely worth looking at if you're just getting started, or you want to up your game as a creator, or maybe you just want to think, you know what, I'm just going to go full out and I'm going to get a camera that is awesome and it does everything that I need it to do. I'm pretty certain it has an external microphone. Let's just click on the picture to find out. Yep. And a really cool feature, actually, if you're someone like me that does live streaming, it's very handy. It has an easy connectable clean connection, so you can then do live streams, which is really handy using the HDMI or USB cable, which is really handy if you are a live streamer. It's just easy to do. You can get yourself this mini tripod that just does the self-record mode, which is really handy. You don't have to buy that with a camera. If you don't want that, you can buy that separately. All the cameras I talk about today, there is affiliate links in the description below, so feel free to check them out as I come up with them, or check them out after this video. If you're getting value so far, smash a like button and consider checking out our merch after this video. Link to that is in the description. So why do I like this camera? It's an all-round, all-singing camera, and a lot of cameras are becoming popular to this, but I really like the idea that it has this flip screen, because most of us creators, we work by ourselves, and it's just really handy to know about that sort of jazz. It's really handy to know to basically see what you're doing. It's so handy, you know. It's, you think about when you're doing like selfies and stuff like that, you can see what you're doing. So with cheaper cameras, they tend to have screens that are just on the back, and you have to mess around and maybe take multiple shots, and if the camera quite in shot, you might film something and you don't know if you've ruined it. So it's so handy to have a camera with a flip screen. So I hope that's fairly obvious. Why do I like this then? So let's go to the E10. But I believe it costs about the same. So, you know, let's get into the crunch. They're both sort of 500-600. I think this costs slightly more. And what's the beauty with this? It's pretty much the same camera with a few more features, so we won't go through them all again. I don't want to feel like I'm repeating myself for you guys. But the great thing about this version, the ZV-E10, is basically you can upgrade the lens if you want to, or interchangeable lenses like you can with an SLR or the its competition, if you will, the M50, because a year or so ago that was always the crunch. It was like, yes, the ZV-1 is a fantastic camera, but with the Canon M50 you can change the lenses and that sort of jazz, and now it brings it much closer together. Personally, I would say it's more down to if you prefer Canon or Sony, or if you just think, I don't know, one's slightly better than the other. But being brutally honest, they both have all the settings to be able to change the cameras and this sort of jazz. You might just prefer the look to the M50, but we'll get to the M50 later. That is still my favourite camera. I don't plan to change it anytime soon, as much as this does look a very good camera, and about the same sort of price as well. But like I said, there's links to this in the description. If you just look at it, you think, you know what, I love Sony. I've had a Sony camera before. I had a point and shoot Sony a few years back. It was a brilliant camera. I've heard some great things. I've seen some great reviews on this. I've even done a review myself. If that's interesting, go on our channel and check it out. If you want a quick access to that, just put a comment in the comments below and I'll send you the link. But no, it is a really good camera, really good camera. I've heard some great things, and you know what, if I didn't already have an M50, I'd be very tempted with this camera. That is just goes without saying of how much this camera rocks. Who is it? Hey, showing my support. Hello, welcome Rose, thank you for joining the live stream. Right, let's get down to the crack. Do not go anywhere, because later I want to give you a little power tip of a camera I would consider as a first-time camera and something that doesn't break the bank, so do not go anywhere. But next up, we're going to the Canon M50 Mark II, which is the camera for creators, in my opinion, and so many other creators. So yes, the 250D, there it is, the Mark II. Now I'm going to look at, for next year, what's that, next year, 22-ish. My maths is appalling. That's quite a good start, so we're perhaps looking at in a moment. But I personally would highly recommend, you're going to have to get an SD card anyway, and they then tend to cost sort of £15-20 or dollars, and that is the Extreme card that I use. I only use a 32 gig, and I find that more than enough to make multiple YouTube videos, take lots of pictures. So 64, I know you can get higher than that, you can get 128, etc, etc. But 64 is more than enough, you don't have to keep the photos there forever. You can put them onto your tablets and laptops and computers, and that's brilliant. What's good about the Extreme, the 90 megabits per second just means it just gives a high performance video when recording video or taking fast photos and stuff like that. Just something to bear in mind. So when it's processing at those speeds, it should give that slightly better quality, and it's just more professional, and to be honest, it just feels good. But I have to say, it's really cool. But why do I love the M50? I could go on about this all day. I actually do have, I hope this doesn't muck up my camera setup. Apologise if it does. No, I don't think it has. Feel free to tell me in the comments if it has. But I basically have the M1, which is pretty much the same. I love this camera for so many reasons. As you can see, it's on the screen, it's in my hand. The M1 and the M2 are pretty much the same. The only real difference has a few more features if you're a complete beginner. And the M2, which we're looking at on the screen, does have a clean HDMI, so it makes live streaming easier. But pretty much apart from that, the M50 and the M50 Mark II, so if you've already got the Mark I like me, I probably wouldn't bother upgrading. But if you don't have the M50, you might want this few extra features, or you just want the newest gadget, so go with the Mark II, especially for that fantastic price. And you get the SD card. Links to all this is in the description. Smash like if you're getting value. Why do I love this camera then? So it has a turn screen, if you can see that, so it turns around 180. It's really handy as a creator. Interchangeable lenses, again, there's quite a few lenses for this camera. You can get an adapter if you've got an older lens, like I've got an older 300mm, so you can connect that later down the road. Very handy. Easy record button for you creators. I don't know if you can see that. It does have a viewfinder, which I believe the Sony doesn't have, for those of you that just like a more sort of old school feel, but I personally just use the screen. It is a touch screen, so it makes it very easy to adjust things. You're welcome. Are all these good? And are those good for tripods? Yep, I am. Sorry, Rose. Yeah, all these cameras fit very easy on pretty much any tripod. I mean, with the two webcams I'm using tonight, I'm using very cheap £15, £20 tripods that I've had for years. I've got a more professional one in the back of the studio, and you can use pretty much any tripod to fit any of these cameras. They all have, sorry if I haven't already said that, they all have like a little metal screw at the bottom, and you basically just clip them on the top. And I'll tell you what, I've said this quite a few times, tripods are your best friend as a creator or filmmaker, because especially if you haven't got a second person to hold the camera for you, plus they hold it more steady, unless they're literally got the stillest hands in the world, and believe me, you still can't beat a tripod. Yes, definitely get yourself, a tripod at some point. Like I said, you don't have to spend the earth. If you're interested, perhaps after the show, I can have a brief look at tripods for you. But at the moment, we're looking at cameras. But the M50, why do I like it? You can change the lenses to anything you like. It's very easy settings. You can change, like on all these cameras I'm talking about tonight, you can change shutter speed, you can change ISO and all that other stuff. Or you can just click it to manual, either photo or video, and off you go. You can set up your own settings. You can focus on certain points. So like on someone's face, for example, has different versions of focus depending on what you want to focus on. You can get that nice blur background on all these cameras. And if you upgrade with a better lens, you can do it even more professionally. And very easy, something I love to do actually. So I just like to press the button, see if I can do it live. And I love this. Hang on, see if I can do it. Hey, I don't know if you heard that, but that satisfying lens click, I don't know about you guys, but I just found that really satisfying. Just like when you drop the top part of the tripod and it drops into the rest of the frame and it just make like a plop noise. I don't know, it just sounds like a mortar in a war film. It just sounds really cool. I've always liked that, I don't know why. A little pointless factor about me. But it comes with the 15-45 kit lens unless you buy the body separately. Now I'll be brutally honest, you can get some great second-hand deals on Canon, or you can buy it outright. Obviously you can pay like monthly and stuff like that. On Amazon there's always great deals. Power tip, I would always check for 2-3 days in a row to get a rough idea of price. This camera is roughly about $600-700 depending if you get extras or not, but just bear in mind the price changes on a daily basis. So and then once you get a rough guide, just click on the day where it gives the best value for you personally. They're always sort of only got a few around because they're just always snapping up, because they really are the best camera for creators. I cannot emphasize to you guys how much I love the M50, the M50 Mark II. I just think these cameras are brilliant. So if you're a creator, filmmaker, you don't want to spend the earth, but you want to spend a few hundred on something a bit decent, separate from your phone, I'd highly recommend the Mark II or the Mark I. Both absolutely phenomenal cameras. And, just get yourself some extra batteries, get yourself a tripod, a light at some point, an external microphone. I forgot to say, sorry, they do have external microphone ports, so you don't have to use the external microphone, which is fine for indoor filming. But if you're filming outside, it's very handy to have an external microphone that just clips on the top and off you go. I'm just going to have a brief look to see where we are. Hey, greetings from Truth Seeker. Hello, welcome. Thanks, Truth Seeker. Thank you, Dave. That is so true. Welcome to the live stream, where hopefully you're getting value. If you're getting value, you haven't done already, subscribe, and more importantly, hit the like button, because that tells me if these videos are worth making for you guys. So yeah, if you haven't thought of it already, check out the Canon M50 Mark II, Mark I. Links to them are in the description in this video. And if you want me to go into more detail for you, I'll probably put links to them throughout the video and stuff. But I do have reviews on these cameras if you want me to go in more detail on specific cameras. Now, another camera you might want to think about, if you don't want to spend the earth, you maybe want to spend a little bit less, you might want to look at something like, that's different, the M200. This is a very good camera. Now, the only main difference is it has a few less features. It doesn't have a microphone jack, but it costs about £100 or £150 or dollars less. So it's about $550. That'd be probably about $600, maybe a bit under. And this is a great camera. It comes with the same kit lens as the M50. It takes fantastic photos like the M50, takes great video. And if you just want something that's maybe just, if you're, a complete beginner, you want something a bit more basic, but perhaps, $600-700 is maybe a little bit too much, then perhaps look at the M200. It is a great little camera. Just bear in mind, if you do film outside, you might have to bear that in mind, or record audio separately, or take yourself somewhere where there isn't much wind. But if you're recording indoors or all that sort of jazz, the M200 is a brilliant camera at 24.1 megapixels, just recording 4K, but bear in mind, that will depend on your SD card, etc. But it is a very good camera indeed. Look at that, absolute value. If you're getting value from this video, smash the like button. What I like about this camera, it's pretty much similar to the M50, but it doesn't have the viewfinder, a few less features, it doesn't have a microphone jack. But if you just want something that does the point and shoot, take fantastic photos, you want to do a bit of filming on it, then the M200 is brilliant. And I do believe there is ways, a little bit complex, but there are ways to live stream with it as well that I have seen on YouTube. So that's something else you might want to bear in mind. But it's a great little camera for the book, as you will. Smash like if you're getting value. Now, something for those of you that are hanging around to this point in the video, I just wanted to share with you a camera that I love. Now, you can get this secondhand. I've got the white one you may have seen me use. And it's basically the older brother, which the M200 replaced the M100. And again, it comes with the same... it's a bit of a drop in price, apparently. And at the moment, it has new and used sort of indirectly to Amazon, but through the marketplace. It's much cheaper. You can get it now for about $350. Just if you use the marketplace, just power tip, just ensure that it's, a seller with a good rep. That's all I asked. So you don't get ripped off, because you don't want that. You can usually get it in black and white like most cameras. And as far as I can tell, the M100 isn't really much different to the M200, a bit like the M50 and the M50 Mark II. Apart from a few more features, the sensor might be slightly better. But when you think it costs half the price and pretty much does the same, that is brilliant. So a massive power tip. So for those of you that have hung around to this part of the video, you core viewers, thank you so much for getting this far. I would massively recommend the M100 as maybe a starter camera. You don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds. You don't know how long you're going to do this, or you just don't have the money to spend $600-700, then an M100 is a brilliant option. And if you can't find it for whatever reason, check it out on eBay. There's always offers. I got mine off eBay, actually. I got mine for, I think it was about $150, $200, something like that, which for a decent camera, I'm not just saying this, for a decent camera, that is peanuts. When you think usually you're paying 500 plus for a decent camera. So bear that in mind. That's just something you want to bear in mind as a creator. Something you want to bear in mind massively when you're sort of buying cameras and that sort of jazz. Now, for you, Rose, and if you're still here, I'll just briefly look at tripods for you. I did a short on this a little while ago. My big thing here would be try to get something that's maybe your height or slightly higher, just for when you're filming. That's at full extension. Just bear in mind, for best video quality at eye level, slightly higher. It just looks has a better frame. It just looks more professional than filming sort of down here. That's something to sort of bear in mind when recording. And sort of 50 inches might be all right, 60 inches. I think you can get one for about 75 inches. And you can get them for, that's 50 inches. That's 67 inches, apparently, for phone. That's only £20, so that'll be, what, $25, $30. So that's a very basic looking tripod. That might be something that you might want to bear in mind. If you want something that's a bit more, I haven't got links to these, I'm afraid, but if you want something that's a bit more special, you might perhaps, don't get that because that's got a turny. I don't like the turnies, so I won't recommend something I don't like. Just bear with me 1 second. Yes, I would highly recommend it. It costs a little bit more, but I'd highly recommend something like this. This is what my pro one is. So it's about sort of $40-50, depending on what day of the week it is. And this is a brilliant, from Newer, absolutely brilliant. A bit more heavy duty, it has the turn screw, so it pops out really easy. Nice little hand grip, has nice grips on each leg. It extends, I believe it's 70 inches, so that's more than tall enough. I mean, It's a perfect height for me. So if you're shorter than me, which, you know, a lot of people are, it'll be more than fine. You can use it all different angles. And what's really cool, actually, it has like a selfie stick that pops out the middle. So if you want, you can just use that. If, you know, you're doing blogs and stuff like that, or you're doing a moving shot, that's just something to bear in mind as a filmmaker or creator. So that's something I would definitely maybe think as maybe, you know, get yourself a camera, get yourself a tripod. That's a great way, a great starter kit, if you will, especially if you get, say, the M50 with the SD card and a tripod. You are pretty much ready to go, ready to take on the world. Hello Brad, you're in the green room as well. Hello, my friend. So yeah, so I hope that's helpful. The other camera I wanted to share before I forget is a 90D. Now, for those of you that money is not an object, I like to extend to all the audience. For those of you out there, the 90D is an incredible camera. So you're looking for a little bit over $1,000. It could be something I might look at if I tend to upgrade. It's a full-blown digital SLR, so it's bigger than the mirrorless lenses by about twice the size. And it's about 1,200, so 1,200, 1,300, depending on what day of the week it is. And these are brilliant cameras, come with very good lenses. I know they're very good for live streaming, and a lot of creators that use this for live streaming, and it really is the works. This is sort of like the next level before you start spending silly money, because obviously you may not know this, but you know, people think, oh, a few hundred for a camera, but actually if you ever got this in professionally, you could be spending thousands for a camera. Literally, like the top end cameras, you're talking 5, 6, 7, 10 grand sometimes. So sort of bear it in mind. But this is the camera that I might consider. Again, you can change the lenses like camera, but this is a full-blown SLR. There's Wi-Fi and all the other jazz, has much more settings to play with. So I wouldn't recommend this for a beginner when I'm starting out, but for those of you that think, you know what, I've got the extra dosh, you know, I want different options, here's the option for you. The 90D is an absolutely great camera. I don't know, I can't remember if I've actually mentioned the 90D, so this could be your first time mention here on a live stream. And just briefly, what do you think to my my ring light, which actually does all different modes? I don't know if you can see it properly on the webcam, but it does all sorts of things. It does pure white, it dances in different colours, it does all sorts of things, which is quite cool. It flashes and does disco things, and it does all sorts of jazz. So it's really cool. You can do all sorts of cool things with it, and that's quite cool. I don't know what that looks like. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. You know, it is, look. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Ah, dear. Anyway, so if you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the live chat. If not, if you watch this on the replay, thank you. Or regardless if you watch this live on the replay, thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this video, don't forget to share this, like and subscribe. If you want to connect with me, you can find me at TVR Creators on Instagram and Twitter. We have an awesome Facebook community as well. All the links to these cameras are in the description. Also a link to our merch if you want to support the brand that way as well. And if you just want to connect, put in the comments below, ask away, and I'll do my best to help you, guide you, perhaps depending on what your price range is, what you're using the camera for. I'll do my best to put you in the right direction. I'm more than happy to help you out over the weekend, etc. So anyway, I hope you got value from today's video. Let's smash over the Cam 1. Oh yes, Cam 1. There it is. There he is, look, there he is. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content to help you decide what the best camera is for you. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now, like this video, have a great day, happy Friday, and you know what? All you people rock. Do it together now. You guys rock. You guys rock. You guys